Welcome to my CBSE English teacher. Today let's look at the final part of the line by line explanation of the chapter Law Spring from class 12 English. If you are watching my video for the first time, please subscribe. You can listen to the explanations of lessons from classes 10, 11 and 12 English. And don't forget to press the bell icon so that you get notified whenever I upload a video. Let's move on to the video now. So the narrator went to Mukesh's house and he met Mukesh's elder brother's sister. Not much older in years, she has begun to command respect as the Bahu, the daughter-in-law of the house, already in charge of the three men, her husband, Mukesh and their father. So she's talking about this girl who was sitting there, that is Mukesh's elder brother's wife. Though she is not much older, she is a young girl, but then she is the Bahu. Bahu means in Hindi it is the daughter-in-law. So as the daughter-in-law, she was getting some amount of respect and she was in charge of the three men in the family. Who are the three men? It is Mukesh, her husband, that is Mukesh's brother, and their father. When the older man enters, she gently withdraws behind the broken wall and brings her veil closer to her face. So as the father enters in, what happens? This girl just hides behind the wall, broken wall, and she tries to cover her face with the veil. Veil means a kind of a cloth, that is her sari or something that is there over her head. So she tries to cover her face as that is the custom there. As custom demands, the daughters-in-law must veil their faces before the male elders. So in those areas, it is their custom that they have to cover their faces in front of the elder male in the family. In this case, the elder is an impoverished bangle maker. So in this case, the elder here is the Mukesh's father, and he is an impoverished bangle maker. So what's the meaning of impoverished? Somebody who is very weak and thin and very poor. Okay, so this man is only a bangle maker and he is very weak. Despite long years of hard labor, first as a tailor, then a bangle maker, he has failed to renovate a house, send his two sons to school. So this man is so poor because he was doing only bangle making all these years, and before becoming a bangle maker he was a tailor, and these two jobs were not enough for him to earn enough money. So he was not even able to renovate his house. Renovate means make changes to his house, and he was also not able to send his two sons to school. All he has managed to do is teach them what he knows, the art of making bangles. So this impoverished elder, that is Mukesh's father, so what he was able to teach his sons, both the sons, only the job that he knows. What is his job? He is a bangle maker. So he has been able to teach them only making bangles. It is his karam, his destiny, says Mukesh's grandmother, who has watched her own husband go blind with the dust from polishing the glass of bangles. So the grandmother who is there along with them is talking to Anis Jung, and what is she saying? It is the karam or the destiny. Destiny here means fate. So it is the fate of these people that they have to only do bangle making. They cannot do anything else. So she as a lady has also watched her own husband becoming blind because he was also into bangle making, and because he was doing that for 24 hours he also became blind because the dust from the polishing of the glass got into his eyes. So it used to be a thing which happens all the time. So this can also make people go blind. So her husband also became blind because he was involved in polishing these glass bangles. Can a God-given lineage be broken? She implies. So she says that can a God-given lineage means tradition. So what is their tradition? This is bangle making. So can they break this bangle making? They have to follow only that. It is their fate that they have to do only this job. So born in a caste of bangle makers, they have seen nothing but bangles in the house, in the yard, in every other house, every other yard, every street in Firozabad. So all they have seen all around and in their house is only bangles. because their job is bangle making. Spirals of bangles, sunny gold, paddy green, royal blue, pink, purple, every color born out of the seven colors of the rainbow, lie in mounds of in unkempt yards, are piled on four-wheeled hand carts pushed by young men along the narrow lanes of the shanty town. So, what is all around? They can see bangles of different colors, some that are fully made and some which still lie on the mounds, especially in the unkempt yard. That means the dirty yards of the houses, or sometimes they are also found on the four-wheel carts, and these carts are pushed by young men who have to take them around the streets and sell them. And what kind of town it is? It's a shanty town. What's a shanty means? Shanty means very small, and that is very underdeveloped with no facilities at all. And in dark hutments, next to lines of flames of flickering oil lamps, sit boys and girls with their fathers and mothers, welding pieces of colored glass into circles of bangles. So, in the dark hutments, so the houses they live are like shacks, half built shacks that we already saw, and they're very dark because there's no proper lighting or no ventilation, and there are only flames of these small, lamps that are used for soldering the glass bangles. And boys and girls who are supposed to go to school, and what are they doing? They're only sitting and molding all these bangles, pieces of bangles together along with their parents. Their eyes are more adjusted to the dark than the light outside. So she says that these children are more comfortable sitting inside the house, and because they are used to seeing this darkness, so they feel much happier sitting inside the house and mending the bangles. That is why they often end up losing their eyesight before they become adults. So most of these children, they lose their eyesight before they become adults because they keep looking at these flames, and sometimes the dust also goes into their eyes all the time. So they lose their eyesight at an early stage. Savita, a young girl in drab pink dress, sits along the side of an elderly woman soldering pieces of glass. Then she meets a small girl called Savita, and she's wearing a pale pink dress, and she's sitting with an elderly woman. And what is she doing? She's also soldering glass. That means she's also making bangles. As her hands move mechanically like the tongs of a machine, I wonder if she knows the sanctity of the bangle she helps to make. So the narrator is wondering whether she knows the importance of the bangles that she is making. And she is working very fast without knowing the importance of these bangles. It symbolizes an Indian woman's suhag, auspiciousness in marriage. So she's saying, what is the importance of these bangles? They symbolize a woman's suhag. What is suhag? It means the wifehood. When a woman gets married, she becomes a wife, and that stage is very precious for her. And she wonders, this narrator wonders whether the girl who is making this bangles knows the importance of these bangles, because one after getting married they wear all these precious bangles. So that's why she says it symbolizes an Indian woman's suhag, the auspiciousness in marriage. It will dawn on her suddenly one day when her head is draped with a red veil, her hands dyed red with henna, and red bangles rolled over onto her wrists. So the narrator says that this small girl Savita, she will realize the importance only when she is getting married. So what is this? Draped with red veil, hands dyed red, and red bangles all indicate marriage. So only when this girl undergoes all this, she will understand the importance of the bangles that she is making. She will then become a bride. So when she is getting ready for marriage and when she gets all these things to wear, she will become a bride, like the old woman beside her who became one of the many years ago. So she's saying that the old woman who is sitting beside her had once become a bride many years ago. She still has bangles on her wrist but no light in her eyes. So this is ironic because she's wearing all the colorful, this old lady, she's wearing all colorful bangles on her hands, but there is no light in her eyes. That means she has become blind because of indulging in bangle making. Ek waqt ser bhar khana bhi nahi khaya, she says in a voice drained of joy. So this old lady, she is talking to the narrator, saying that We are not even able to eat one full meal a day. She has not enjoyed even one full meal in her entire lifetime. That's what she has reaped. So she says, after indulging in bangle making, nothing they're not able to earn, even to eat one full meal on a day. Her husband, an old man with a flowing beard, says, I know nothing except bangles. So the old lady's husband is also there, and that old man, what he says, I don't know anything, I know only the job of making bangles. All I have done is make a house for the family to live. So, what does the old man say? All I have done is I have made a house for the family to live. Hearing him, one wonders if he has achieved what many have failed in their lifetime. So, when the narrator listens to him, she just wonders at least this man has made a house. What about the others? They don't even have a house. He has a roof over his head. That means he at least has a house, and there are many who don't even have a house. The cry of not having money to do anything except carry on the business of making bangles, not even enough to eat, rings in every home. So she says poverty is there in every home in Firozabad, because they only have to do, they know only the work of bangle making, and that is not a good job. That's not enough for them to get money to fulfill all their needs. The young men echo the lament of their elders. That means these young people who are there in Firozabad, they just repeat what the elders have been crying about. That means they don't have enough money, they don't have a proper job, no proper food or house. So even the young people are repeating the same thing. Lamenting means crying. Little has moved with time, it seems, in Firozabad. That means there is no much change at all in Firozabad. The conditions are the same. Years of mind numbing toil have killed an initiative and the ability to dream. So, for years and years together, the people have been toiling. How? Mind numbing toil. That means they have become very insensitive because they have been doing a lot of hard work and it has not been fruitful at all. So, that has killed their ability to dream, because they have feel that whatever hard work they do, they are not able to get enough money, or whatever they are not able to fulfill their dreams. Why not organize yourself into a cooperative? I ask a group of young men who have fallen into the vicious circle of middlemen who trap their fathers and forefathers. So she meets a group of young men and she asks them, what is that she is asking? Why don't you form a cooperative? What is cooperative? A group, so that you can, try to develop your own people, your own self and all that. So she's asking, why don't you organize into a cooperative? I ask a group of young men who have fallen into the vicious circle. What is vicious circle? Dangerous circle of middlemen who have trapped their forefathers and fathers. So there are a group of people, the middlemen, who try to cheat the fathers and the forefathers. They promise them a lot of things, but finally they cheat them by taking away their land and money, etc. And these young men also have fallen prey to these middlemen. Even if we get organized, we are the ones who will be hauled up by the police, beaten, and dragged to jail for doing something illegal. So, what the youngsters tell her, they tell that even if we join and become a cooperative, for no reason the police will drag us into the police station and beat us up as if we did something illegal. So, they say that they are frightened to become a cooperative. There is no leader among them, no one who could help them see things differently. They also say that there is no leader among them. So, if they had a leader, he would show them what is right and wrong. Their fathers are as stirred as they are. So, the fathers are also frightened and they are not able to form cooperatives. They talk endlessly in a spiral that moves from poverty to apathy to greed and to injustice. So what is this? All these people keep talking about endlessly. It goes on in a circle. They start from poverty. They talk about their own poverty. Then it goes on to apathy. What is apathy? Apathy means laziness. And then it moves on to greed. How people need more and more without doing anything at all. And then to injustice. They talk about the injustice done to them and the people around them. So these things they just keep on talking endlessly. Listening to them, I see two distinct worlds. One of the family caught in a web of poverty, burdened by the stigma of caste in which they are born. The other, a vicious circle of the sahukars, the middlemen, the policemen, the keepers of law, the bureaucrats, and the politicians. So, after talking to these people here in Firozabad, she understood there are two distinct worlds. So, one world belonged to the poor people who are burdened by two things because of the poverty, and other one is the disgrace because of the caste in which they are born. And the other world is made of the vicious circle or the dangerous people who in which are the sahukars. Who are the sahukars? The money lenders. These people lend money to these poor people and beat them and threaten them and get them to pay them extra and all that. So the middlemen, the policemen, the keepers of law, so all these people, the bureaucrats are the people in power, and the politicians. So all these people make up one world and the poor people make up another world, and it is difficult for both of them to help each other. Together they have imposed the baggage on the child that he cannot put down. So because of this, there's a lot of burden on children, and this burden has been forced upon these children because they have to work, because they have to earn some money for the family, and this burden they are not able to keep it down. So the people in power, the middlemen and the policemen, etc., never allow these poor people to develop in any way. So they are always made to work very hard all the time in all kinds of conditions. Before he is aware, he accepts it as naturally as his father. So Mukesh also, before being aware of all these conditions, he also accepts that he has to be a bangle maker just like his father. To do anything else would mean to dare. So if you think of anything else, that means you have to dare. That means you have to become very different. You have to be bold and courageous to show that you want to do something else. And daring is not a part of growing up. And you cannot dare, because in that part or in that Firozabad, everybody is only, they have only one work. What is that? They have to keep on making bangles. They don't know anything else. So you cannot dare. So when I sense a flash of it in Mukesh, I am cheered. So the narrator says that she is able to see a small flash of daring in Mukesh. I want to be a motor mechanic, he repeats. So why does she say this? Because she listens to him, and he says that he wants to become a motor mechanic. He does not want to continue bangle making. He will go to a garage and learn. And he says that he is ready to go to a garage and learn how to become a motor mechanic. But the garage is a long way from his house. I will walk, he insists. Do you also dream of flying a plane? So he says that he is ready to walk and go to the garage, which is far away from his house. Do you also dream of flying a plane? He suddenly is silent. So she asks him, do you like to fly a plane? But he becomes silent. No, he says, staring at the ground. In his small murmur, there is an embarrassment that has not yet turned into regret. So he is embarrassed because he knows that he cannot fly a plane. But he is not yet he is not yet regretting it, because he does not know the importance of flying a plane, or that thought has never come to him as of now. He is content to dream of cars he sees hurtling down the streets of his town. So he sees a lot of cars flying in his area, and so that wish has come into him that he also want to drive a car. Few planes fly over Firozabad, and there are few planes that fly over Firozabad. So maybe that is why he does not think much about the aeroplanes, and that is why he might have felt a little bit embarrassed when she asked him, would you like to fly a plane? So you see, Lost Spring is a story of these two boys who are forced to child labor, and they are not able to enjoy their childhood by going to school or getting educated. They have to work and help their family to earn livelihood so that they can live a better life. So I hope you liked today's video. For more interesting videos, do subscribe to my CBSE English teacher. Like, share, and write your valuable comments below. And don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for watching.